Since the introduction of the 757, long-haul flying has not just been the domain of wide-body aircraft. This has expanded more in recent years and is set to go further with the new A321XLR. It's a trend that seems set, offering new routes options and economics for airlines. Whether you want to or not, you are likely to end up flying this way soon. Long flights on narrow-body jets are nothing new. The first truly successful jet aircraft, the Boeing 707, was a narrow-body. While it didn't have the range of today's long-haul jets, it could easily fly transatlantic routes. In 1967, Iberia and Aerolíneas Argentinas operated Madrid to Buenos Aires direct, a route of just over 5,400 nautical miles or 10,000 kilometers. The Boeing 747 changed this, and long-haul flying moved to wide bodies with its introduction. The 767 that followed it was a lower-capacity wide-body, as was Airbus's first aircraft, the A300. The Boeing 757, which entered service in 1983, took long-haul back to the narrow-body. This was, and still is, a popular aircraft with airlines. It offers high capacity and excellent range, along with the economic advantages of narrow-body operations. Its high power gives it outstanding performance in challenging conditions and from short runways. ETOPS regulations at the time opened up new routes to twin-engine aircraft, and the 757 allowed airlines to operate a narrow-body on transatlantic services. All the main legacy US airlines, American Airlines, United Airlines and Delta Airlines, have been major operators. Delta remains the largest operator of the type, but American retired its fleet in 2020. The 757-200 offers a range of 3,915 nautical miles or 7,250 kilometers. With this, it can easily handle US coast-to-coast flights and transatlantic routes. Iceland Air has even operated it on flights from Reykjavik, KEF, to San Francisco, SFO, a distance of 3,653 nautical miles or 6,765 kilometers. Amongst other long routes, French airline La Compagnie had one of the longest scheduled routes. It operated 2 all-business class 757s between 2014 and 2019. Seasonally, these operated between Newark and Nice, with regular service also to Paris, a distance of 3,482 nautical miles or 6,448 kilometers. Amongst US operators, United stands out for its Newark to Stockholm routes of 3,415 nautical miles or 6,324 kilometers. It's not just the specialized Boeing 757 that has been capable of long flights. As the A320 and 737 families have improved through the generations, ranges have increased. While we don't think of them as long-haul aircraft, they are capable of some long-distance sectors. Looking at the 737 MAX, the variant with the longest range is the MAX 7, up to 3,850 nautical miles or 7,130 kilometers. This is capable of flights up to around 8 hours. Lufthansa's 737-700 flight from Frankfurt to Pune, India, is one of the longest, with a flight time of 8 hours and 20 minutes. For the A320 family, the A321neo improved range up to 3,500 nautical miles or 6,482 kilometers. Airbus has gone further, though, with the A321LR. With additional fuel tanks, this increases the range to 4,000 nautical miles or 7,408 kilometers, allowing transatlantic services. We'll discuss this and the impact of the upcoming A321XLR shortly. Airbus introduced the A321LR in 2018. This is based on the A321neo with additional fuel capacity. It takes range up to 4,000 nautical miles or 7,408 kilometers, just exceeding that of the Boeing 757-200. 6 airlines operate the A321LR between Europe and North America in 2021. The longest, between Stockholm and Chicago, will have a block time of over 9 hours. This is planned for launch in August 2021. Its usage has increased quickly. In 2019, its first full year of operation, there were less than 4,000 transatlantic A321LR flights. In 2021, this has increased to over 10,000. The most frequented route is between Lisbon and Newark. Other than transatlantic flights, the A321LR operates long routes for Air Astana from Almaty to London and Paris. Narrowbody range will go even further when the A321XLR enters service, up to 4,700 nautical miles or 8,700 kilometers. So far, there are over 450 orders for the A321XLR from 22 airlines and 2 leasing companies. It remains on track to enter service in 2023. The A321XLR will offer a significant step up in long-haul routes from what we've seen previously. Longer transatlantic routes will, of course, be popular, but it also can connect South Asia with Europe, the Middle East with South Africa, or the southern US with North America with Argentina and Chile. It's still early to know what the main operators plan to do with their aircraft. American Airlines has indicated it'll use them to Europe and closer South American destinations. It's likely to base the aircraft at its hubs in Philadelphia, Boston, Charlotte, and Chicago. United has discussed expansion from its hubs in Newark and Washington, D.C. JetBlue will likely build on its first routes to London and expand service to Europe. Crucially, it'll also open up many more long-haul routes to low-cost airlines with just narrow-body fleets. We could see a lot from Indigo in this area, for example. From Delhi, it could fly anywhere in Europe and Asia, most of Africa, and even the west coast of Australia. From 2023, the A321XLR will start offering new long-haul possibilities. With at least 450 orders so far, we're going to see plenty of changes. It seems likely, though, that more will follow. Narrow-body aircraft are more suited to new lower-capacity point-to-point routes, and lower demand on other routes in the coming years will favour narrow-body deployment too. With this in mind, it's likely that Boeing will soon offer something new in the market. If it doesn't, it'll lose out to Airbus. It has been looking since at least 2015 at a new mid-sized aircraft dubbed the NMA or 797. This was expected to take over from the 757, but likely as a wide-body design. It remains to be seen what the US manufacturer will do. A clean-sheet aircraft could take advantage of new technology, composites, and engines, but this would be a time-consuming and expensive route to go down. It's more likely that Boeing will update an existing aircraft. The 757 is a possibility for this, re-engined and likely with increased range. It may, of course, opt for a wide-body update instead. While long-haul narrow-body flights will be good for airlines, passengers will suffer in some ways. Fares may be lower if airlines can take advantage of lower operating costs, and there may be more point-to-point routes coming up. But it's hard for passengers and crew to get excited about the experience. Some airlines will stay away from this. Sri Lankan Airlines CEO has commented that the airline will not take on narrow bodies for long haul, and neither will Qatar Airways. Speaking to Simple Flying about the new A321XLR, CEO Akbar Al-Bakr ruled it out for his airline, saying, "I don't want to put my passengers in a narrow-body aeroplane travelling 9 and 10 hours." Narrow bodies simply offer less room. Cabins can be more cramped, and there's less space away from the seat for passengers to stand or move. Airbus is of course aware of this and has made changes. Its airspace cabin design features larger entrance areas, larger windows, and leaner sidewalls to improve seat space. We may see some airlines opt for a slightly less dense configuration, but we'll not see major changes immediately. Looking further ahead, designs are emerging for new economy seating. Up front, the situation will be different. We will not see the facilities that have found their way into the 747 and the A380. No bars, lounges, or onboard showers. but it is easier for airlines to offer a narrow-body business class product that makes longer flights tolerable. As more aircraft take on longer routes, we'll see more innovation in seating. In October 2020, Stellia Aerospace unveiled a new business class product specifically designed for narrow-body aircraft. These are 1-1 configured flatbed seats with optional door, a very similar offering to that on many wide bodies. There seems no doubt long-haul narrow-body flights will increase in amount and duration over the coming years. Are you excited by the prospect this brings for lower costs and more point-to-point routes, or put off by the idea of even longer flights in a narrow-body cabin? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles and a podcast every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.